Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Billy, they were the biggest things I ever saw, and they had tattoos on them. You know, I may be in love. I might just go right back in there and ask her out on a date. Oh, I gotta go.
This is episode 287, recorded June 11th, 2025.
Gruesome Magazine.
My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, actress and YouTuber, looking mighty fine. How you doing, Crystal?
Thank you. I am great. I'm excited. This is actually, I think, the first Chuck Norris film I've ever watched. So
What a way to start it off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Also with us is Chad Hunt, co-host of Decades of Horror, the All of Them, comic book writer and artist. How you doing, Chad?
Well, Chuck Norris is a pussy.
Oh, that's right. You made a comment about him we're going to have to listen to.
Oh, God. Okay. That sounds fun.
It's been nice knowing you, Chad.
Yeah, whatever. He can get in line with everybody else trying to kick my ass.
And last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror of the 1970s, published writer, and all around.
Look at that.
Oh, there's Chad.
Two.
Oh, I should bring mine too.
Yeah,
there you go.
I should have got mine. I saw Daphne got one, so
yeah, that's awesome. That was awesome.
Me public, yes.
I have something I need to correct a couple things from the last podcast. So when we did what was the last podcast? Butcher Baker and Nightmare Maker. I forgot to mention that the editor was Ted Nicolau.
How dare you?
Was the director of, help me out. You guys
you're on your own.
TerrorVision, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I love TerrorVision. I mean, that's.
Well, thanks. Now that song's stuck in my head again.
Once we retire and we have nothing else to do all day but memorize stupid movie trivia.
Yeah.
We'll be able to come through on you for you
now,
stuff.
Are you telling me one of our wonderful listeners wrote to you and said,
No.
Okay. So
I'm doing this.
Just you.
I'm doing this because that's what they might do. I don't know.
Also,
I said Chris O'Donnell wasn't Chris O'Donnell in NCIS Los Angeles. No. Or what did I said he was in CSI Los Angeles. No, he was in NCIS Los Angeles.
Same thing to me.
USC.
That whole thing about and versus ampersand in the credits.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's actually the other way around. It's what Bill thought it was. And the weird thing is that's what I thought too. But that particular movie in the trivia said it was the other way around, using the people's names. So I don't know.
Wars have been fought over this.
And I'm not even going to say which one was which because I know I'll screw it up. But if you go back and watch that one, it's the other way around. Anyway, all right. On this podcast, first I got to mention we are partnering with Play Now Media. And you can watch Decades of Horror of the 1980s on the Wicked Horror TV channel, which actually today's movie is on. And we have a promo code for you if you want to subscribe to that. The promo code is DOH80, DOH all caps 80. And you do need to sign up at the website, and you do have to be a first-time subscriber. So you just search for Play Now Media and look at all their niche subgenre streaming channels and sign up there. Normally it's $6.99 a month. So 20% off your first payment is what you get for the promo code. So 20% off $7 is $1.40. If you sign up for an annual plan, it's $50. So 20% off
that's really affordable.
$10. That's $40 for a year. Try it out. Anyway, and they, like I said, they got a wide variety there. So today's movie is on there. On this podcast, we start by giving some basic details of the film we're covering, get into first impressions of the movie, and then move into a general discussion of whatever trips our
Trips
trigger.
your trigger.
My trigger. Anyway, and spoiler alert, we spoil the heck out of them. This movie's 43 years old, so it is available to watch. So if you haven't seen it and you're worried about us spoiling it for you, you should go watch it first.
Yep. ...
All right, our topic today is Silent Rage. And my caption, my caption for this picture is, see, I told you I could get my foot all the way up on this bumper.
Yeah. Or you could just see the seething rage in this picture right here.
With Chuck and Stephen first. All right, directed by Michael Miller, written by Joseph Fraley, and apparently some uncredited work by Edward D. Lorenzo. The cast includes Chuck Norris, Tony Callum, Ron Silver, Stephen Keats, Stephen First, William Finley, and Brian Libby. Production company is Columbia Pictures and Top Kick Productions. It was filmed in Dallas, Texas. Started filming on July 30th, 1981, and the shooting schedule was 30 days long. And it was released on April 2nd, 1982. And here's my other picture. Stephen First playing, are you talking to me?
Deputy Flounder.
Yeah.
Flounder. That's
boy,
right.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That was great. He's so good at those characters. Budget estimated at $4.5 million, domestic box office $10.5 million on IMDb, $12.3 million on the Ultimate Movie Rankings. And I was looking that stuff up too. They said there's like kind of a bill. Hopefully you guys, or Crystal even, or anybody, Chad, you can correct me, but there's like a 2.5 rule.
Yeah. Have
you ever heard that? It's got to make 2.5 times the filming production budget to break even.
And that's, I mean, it's dicey. But it's a good rule of thumb. A lot of people don't seem to get this. I've gotten into so many arguments with people. It's like, this movie cost this and it made this, so it made a lot of money. It's like, the theater does keep half. You know that, right?
Right, right.
And there's marketing and there's like, I mean,
that's not in the budget.
A lot of times with the budget, that doesn't include any of that. And it's like,
and then there's Hollywood.
Sometimes the budget's more than the marketing's more than the budget,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'd say this probably broke even barely or made a small profit, but nothing to write home about. But it didn't bomb, I guess.
Right.
Probably over time, it probably made something.
Well, and I tried looking up what percentage of box office rental fees usually were, and I got anywhere from 30 to 60%.
Yeah.
I suppose it depends on if it's Disney or not. Anyway, so back to Silent Rage. The synopsis is: a sheriff tries to stop the killing spree of a silent, maniacal murderer who, as the result of secret genetic experimentation by an unethical scientist, has the ability to self-heal and, I would say, kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
He does seem extra strong.
And he doesn't talk much, so I guess that's the silent part.
Yeah.
He's like in a permanent rage. So
yeah.
Okay.
So we just did on the 70s, right? And some crazy science there. What is it with these scientists? What is the deal with these scientists? You've actually come up with a cure for death.
By the way, this is
Nobel
Bill's
Prize.
pick, so these are his first impressions.
So thank you. So Nobel Prize, of course, all the Nobel Prizes. Richer than the dreams of Cretius. You're going to get, everyone is going to love you. You think you have a cure for death. Now, of course, you're a good scientist. You came up with a cure for death. So you got to test it. And what would I test my cure for death? Maybe a war hero, a cop killed in the line of duty, perhaps the beloved matriarch of a big family. No, I'm going to test it on a deceased axe murderer.
I think
yeah,
it's because they probably wouldn't have got permission to do it any other way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like off
That's
his
the problem.
medication or something.
just I mean, this is basically the same plot as The Indestructible Man, where they brought Lon Chaney Jr. back to life after he was electrocuted for being a mass murderer. I mean, guys, think about what you're doing.
We did have a quote from the doctor played by Stephen Keats. He says, "I don't care if he killed 100 people. We're scientists, not moralists."
Yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen? Yeah.
All right.
So I had never seen this movie before. I have not actually seen that many Chuck Norris movies before. Why did I pick it? It just really intrigued the hell out of me. I wasn't aware that Chuck Norris had ever made a movie that was anywhere on the horror sci-fi spectrum. And that just seemed like a goofy enough idea to give it a shot. And it is what it is. It's not terrible. It's actually got some pretty entertaining elements. Stephen Furst, for one thing. It actually has a really good cast. You see Ron Silver in this, and you're like, dude, you did that movie about the doctor who killed his wife with insulin. I mean, that was Academy Award winning stuff, and now you're doing this. And to my surprise, because I always, Chuck Norris, the only movie I ever think I've seen Chuck Norris in was not Enter the Dragon. Oh shoot, now I can't remember. The one with Bruce Lee. It's great. I always had the impression. Thank you. I always thought he was it Game of Death? No? Well, feel like it's something else, but it probably had multiple names. Anyway, it was a great scene. They fought in the Coliseum, one of the best kung fu fights ever. He always seemed kind of wooden. Walker, Texas Ranger, always seemed kind of cheesy and all. Very, very successful. I love the memes. Seems like an okay guy. I don't know. Chad may disagree. But he was fine. He was fine. I mean, these movies, these drive-in type movies, I don't expect much, and I usually don't get much. It was a little. He seemed. It was clear, you could tell seeing him in a bed with a naked woman was really surprising. It's like, Walker, there's children watching, and I think that's about the only time that ever happened.
Walker seemed a little surprised too.
Oh, yeah. But I do like the fact that, yeah, he can kick ass, and he does kick ass, but he's not superhuman. I like karate movies, I like action movies, but way too often they're doing things that are ridiculous. They're getting in fights, they're taking on 30 or 40 guys, punching away, and no one seems the worse for wear. You punch 30 guys with your fists, and it hurts. Mm-hmm. I know this from no experience whatsoever, but I guarantee, just from a knowledge of physics, that it would hurt. The big fight here is the fight in the bar, which was entertaining because you had those completely hysterically stereotypical bikers. So that was entertaining enough. The horror elements were actually pretty good because I think the villain is effective. He doesn't say much or anything really, but he's got a weird, creepy look, and they got the indestructibility down, fairly pat. So this was, is this a great movie? No, but it's not a terrible movie either. I was kind of prepared for that more so than what I got, which is good of its kind. Kind of unique. Obviously didn't really put a lot of butts in the seats, so I'm not surprised that he didn't go back to that again. And apparently from some of the stuff Jeff dug up, this was an idea that had been floating around for a while, and they had quite a few big name stars attached to it. I think they should take another crack at this. The whole idea of basically indestructible killer, although that's really pretty dubious how it would work. But even a guy who just doesn't feel pain, it's why.
Oh, that's on what's that show now? Novocaine.
I mean, and so here's a tip for boys and girls out there. Don't get into a fight with a crackhead.
Oh, well, yeah.
Or anyone using PCP, because here's the thing. They're stupid and they don't have any technique, but they also don't feel pain. And boy, that's a special kind of power. I saw a fight once in Florida where this guy was losing the fight, but he wouldn't quit, and he thought he was winning. And by the time it was over, he was basically so crippled. He's on the ground, back to the wall. The guy who beat him up is like just horrified at how much punishment he had to give to him to get him to stop getting up and fighting again. And the guy's still like, come over here. Come over here. You know what I'm going to do to you? And I'm like, what? Bleed all over him? Stop, sit down. The cops had to come and take him away for his own good. So yeah, the idea of a killer that just can't really be stopped by normal means is a pretty good one. So I'll give this a solid 6.
All righty. Well, thank you, Bill. And Chad's up next, but just to do a little fact checking here. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris were both in The Way of the Dragon.
Okay.
And they were both in Game of Death.
Oh, both. Two.
But in Game
Probably
of Death,
probably the same movies.
I thought it was the same scene.
Well, in the Game of Death, it says 6 years later, and it says archival footage for Chuck Norris.
Oh, okay.
Game of Death was the one that they released after Bruce Lee died. It was cribbed from an earlier project. So they took what they had of Bruce Lee, put that in the movie, and then they had a thing where
Chuck Norris fight.
Bruce Lee puts on a mask or something, and he plays someone else for the rest of the movie. It's terrible.
All right. Chad, what did you think of Silent Rage? I hear you're a Chuck Norris fan.
I hated it.
Did you really hate it?
Yeah, I did. When I first saw it, I hated it. I felt like they were trying to do a Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I just didn't get into it. A lot of things didn't make sense. I mean, it's a Chuck Norris movie. A lot of things don't make sense in a lot of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
But why was this guy living with a family of looked like a single mom and all of her kids? I mean, was he just renting a room out from her? Or
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that dude that he killed was the dad. Actually, I think it was a mom and dad, and I think she was probably just helping him out since he was obviously had his issues.
Yeah. Look what that got her.
Yeah, that got her far in life. But yeah, I just the story was hackneyed. I just didn't get into it. Chuck Norris, you might as well put a 3 cardboard standee in for him whatever scene he's in. He's just a terrible, terrible actor. Yeah, he knows his kung fu and he knows all that karate stuff, and he's really good at it. But when it comes to acting, I just can't. It just pains me to watch him. I just hate
That's
Chuck
fair.
Norris.
Mm-hmm.
He can come at me all he wants. I don't care. You guys go tell Chuck Norris that I hate him, and I'll just remind him what happened on the beach in Fort Pierce, Florida, when we were shooting a movie. Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I want Crystal to be able to tell her first impressions, but I'll tell it as we go. But I hate Chuck Norris, and I hate this movie.
Spilling some tea.
All right. Thank you, Chuck. Crystal, what were your impressions?
How you really feel, Chad? Okay, so I have to say that I loved Bruce Lee. I love Bruce Lee. Okay, but I have never watched his film with Chuck Norris because I've never been a fan of Chuck Norris. That's just the way it is. I don't know why. There is something about his demeanor, his whole thing that just turns me off so bad. He just, and I know everyone else around him has built him up because they had that whole Chuck Norris, this, that, whatever. And I'm just like, he's a little dude. He's not even like, I mean, come on, someone could just step on him. It's not even like, I mean, it's just true. So that's why I think it's even funnier that Chad feels this way, because I kind of feel, I never say anything about him because I feel like I must be the only person that I don't know. There's something about his aura or something I don't like. But that being said, I watched the Riff Tracks version of this film.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
And so I will
So
tell
did
you
I.
that they made it better because, oh my God, there was a long stint apparently in the beginning where no one talked at all. I didn't really realize that though because they were talking. So I had something to entertain me.
Mhm.
And they brought up a lot of good points. And yeah, the movie's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. Um, it's not great though, and it's kind of it annoyed me. I don't know why. I don't know why he had, I feel the same way, Chad. He just bothers me. So, some people you
Yeah.
don't like the cut of their jib,
Mhm.
which I've learned just recently is a sail on a ship. It's one of the sails, the cut of the jib.
Oh.
Anyway, I thought that's interesting.
So if you don't
But
like the cut of a jib, is that like because it's a pirate ship or something? I mean, where did this
maybe
expression come from?
it's like this second sail thing. I don't know. Maybe they cut
Hmm.
them in different ways and they think some looks better than others. Probably. Sure. I don't know.
Let's go to war.
Hmm But it's even like he plays this arrogant jerk and it bothers me. Like it's like they are intentionally try to make him look better than he is in his movies because they put him next to an absolute cuck. And it's like, okay, so you're really, and then they even pull that dude's pants up. I'm like, you're really trying hard just to make Chuck look better. And then he's
Yeah.
like they mention it that if he's always putting his leg up on something because
Yeah.
he's like only small dudes do that.
Oh,
They have something to prove. So like I don't like him. So
good to know.
Okay.
Well, that's the
I
last
don't-
time I'm ever going to do the Captain Morgan.
I don't like an ego. An ego turns me off immediately, and I feel like he's an egotistical.
Who would be worse, Chuck Norris or Steven Seagal?
Oh God!
I hate him too, but I'd
Yeah,
rather
of
watch a
course.
Steven Seagal
Exactly.
movie
I don't
before
know.
Chuck
Steven
Norris.
Seagal's a real dick. Man, he's mean. Chuck hides it really
Oh.
well. He's clever. Chuck is smarter because whatever is going on with him, I'm telling you, if I don't like
His
someone,
career lasted
stay
a hell of
stay
a lot
away from him.
longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be real
because
funny if
he covers it.
at the
Mhm.
end of this episode, like there's a knock on the door on my door, and it's like Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal, and they both just like take turns kicking my ass. Like, wait,
Why your
said
ass?
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Here, take my dress down. Give it to him when they come
There
in.
you go.
Yeah. I got
Actually,
something for him.
Yeah, me too. I'd love a good lawsuit. So if I
Mm.
can bring it. Mhm.
I can get a gold-plated
you.
wheelchair.
Totally.
It says on his IMDb under trademarks, always puts his leg up on top. No, he doesn't say that.
Well, okay. That I was like, well, I believed it. I was like, yep. See,
Yep.
there you go.
All right. Well, somebody is going to call in or write in and say, why the hell would you review a Chuck Norris movie if you all hate Chuck Norris? But okay. I can't say I hate him because I have literally never watched a full episode of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah.
Nothing about his persona was attractive to me, to watch those. So I can't really tell you why. Sort of a stiff hero guy. Kind of reminds me of this is going a little far afield, but David Caruso when he was on, was it NYPD Blue or one of those cop shows? I liked him when he was on that. Then he got on CSI Miami, and he turned into this poser. Like he was always like taking his glasses off and looking into the camera, like that's it did it every show, every commercial, I'm just like, God dang. I guess it's his trademark, but at some point it just gets ridiculous. So yeah, I felt this was like just like what everybody else is saying. It's and they said there was other people in line for this, and when they got Chuck Norris and they had to rewrite it to put in some fight scenes, like
take out some drama scenes.
So yeah, he's not overly excited. He's got a nice smile. That was about it. He smiles and I don't know. Anyway, just not my thing. Just the whole image they're trying to portray. As
Jeff's been rendered speechless.
almost. But I also thought
Interesting,
somebody
though,
mentioned
that none of us liked him. I
did
just
somebody
think
say
it's interesting.
Chuck Myers versus Michael Myers. It was, and then throw in Friday the 13th for the final shot.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on, Chad.
So
Mhm.
it was, yeah. I guess I don't have anything.
So we
else to
all
say
feel
about
the
it.
same.
You know what I
so
like?
Interesting. I
Most
thought
was
for sure
Stephen
y'all
First.
might like him. Wow.
I like Stephen First. The
Oh, I
most.
love Stephen First. That character.
Mhm.
Other than that,
Is that the one that looks like Terrence Mann? Is that the
No.
villain?
no.
Oh, okay.
Stephen First was Charlie the
Deputy Flounder.
The
comic
Oh
relief.
Flounder.
yeah, he's precious. He's.
I
so
met him at a
sweet. He's
convention.
funny.
He was a sweet guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I like him.
I
funny.
would have rather had a movie with him as the main
Me too.
guy going
Yeah.
against this unstoppable force. I would have much rather have had
Mhm.
that.
Me too.
It's like, yeah, because there's drama there. There's conflict. It's like,
Yeah.
does he go and try to stop the serial killer, or does he try to ask out the girl with the tattoos on her boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's
All right, Chad.
classic dilemma.
Chuck Norris.
Oh,
Okay. I don't know how familiar you guys are with his movies, but he was coming to town in Fort Pierce, Florida to film his new movie. And it was called Invasion USA.
oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody knew he was coming to town. So everybody's
Oh.
like, the whole town's looking to see where Chuck Norris is. My buddy Joel and I went to see his movie Code of Silence. I think that was the one that was out at the time in theaters. So we go see it, and they let these three guys come in the exit down by the screen and come in and sit down. They sat like 3 or 4 rows in front of us, and the two guys on each end had suits on or whatever, and the one guy had a baseball cap on and like a jacket. It was pulled up, and I was going, that's weird. These guys are sitting like all up on each other. There's something, what's going on here? They look like cops or something. So I kept staring at them the whole time. And it turns out it was the guy with the baseball cap was Chuck Norris. He came to see his own movie. That's strike one. So we're going, I told my buddy Joel, I said, that's Chuck Norris. That's really Chuck Norris. He's going, no, it's not. So the movie ends and they start to walk up the aisle or whatever, and it was him. So, and we were the only ones in the theater, by the way. And so,
there to see this movie.
you know, we stood up, and you know, as they passed by, we said, you know, that was a great movie, Mr. Norris. You know, it was a great movie, good job, and all that kind. We enjoyed it a lot, or whatever. Totally looked straight ahead and kept walking like we were a couple of, you know, ne'er-do-wells. You know,
Well, how did he?
Uh,
Keep going.
I don't know why. For any question that you might have, I have no idea why. But so we hear that they put a call out for extras, and they're looking for big guys that have facial hair and a sort of darker complexion and that kind of thing. So we go out to this open casting call, and it was going to be a 3-day shoot. I think it was a 3-day shoot, and it all takes place on the beach. And there was going to be an explosion, and food would be provided for everybody, and all this kind of thing. So it sounded like fun. So we went down, and we were one of the ones that got picked out of the 100 guys that were there or whatever. And there was around 50 or 60 guys, I guess, that made it into the film. And my brother-in-law was there too. We didn't know he was coming, but he was there, so he got picked. So the 3 of us were like hanging out together, and the food was pretty terrible. I mean, On the last day of shooting, after the big boat explosion or whatever, they had an area roped off that we could not go into, where they were grilling chicken, steaks, all that kind of stuff for the food and everything. And Chuck Norris comes walking through, and they were the ones getting the porterhouses and the ribeyes and that kind of thing. We're getting chicken legs with potato salad and a cold roll, and that kind of thing. And Joel's going, man, this is BS,
Well, that's pretty normal, though.
Yeah, I said, who cares? I said, it's food. It tastes good. It's not bad or whatever. Chuck Norris comes in. He walks up and he has a steak on a plate, right? And he's standing there in front of all these guys, and he's just eating his steak. And while we're all standing there going saliva, running out of our mouths and everything, turns and walks back. And everybody's going, hey, Chuck, share a steak or whatever. And he just looks at us like we're all just, these cattle are about, we're going to put these out the pasture, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he walks back and we see him. He takes like one bite of the steak and throws the steak into the sand. He didn't even throw it in the garbage. He threw it in the sand. So this shower of chicken bones come flying over my head toward the center of the place, and they're getting pelted by chicken leg bones and stuff like that. My buddy Joel is just cussing him out one way, up one side of the other. That's twice. You ignored me. That's twice. And it just went on and on. He is a douchebag.
Wow.
Chuck Norris is a douchebag. And
sorry, story.
It is, and I still have my Canon Films pay stub, but it was what an experience, man. 3 days just with sand down the crack of your ass and people playing pranks on each other. It was a great time until Chuck Norris showed up.
Well.
So anyway,
never meet your heroes.
Yeah. I mean, it is possible that the first time he didn't hear y'all or something, because I don't know but I think that's probably who he is.
We were inches away from him. Yeah, I'm sure he heard.
I don't understand why would you come in the exit?
I don't know.
They didn't want to walk on the street. Did they have to call the theater and have somebody come and let him in? He probably didn't want to be
seen. He wanted to be incognito. He didn't want to be seen. Like
it was called Sears Town. It was a giant strip mall that had a Sears in there, a Woolworths, and in the very corner at the L was the movie theater, and it was the big movie theater in town, and that's where everybody went to watch movies at the time. So, an usher came down, let him in. Let him in through the exit door. Mm-hmm. Usher walks out and they sit down, and it was Chuck Norris. But when they were leaving, we were standing like a foot away, telling them how much we enjoyed the movie, and he just looked at us like.
In his defense, he probably thought you were a couple of Chuck Norris fans. So.
But he could have.
Why would he want to talk to you?
No,
of course, it's douchey behavior. It's
like,
totally douchey behavior.
Like, there's been a few people that have been that way there's really only been one person that's been that way to me, and that's one of the ZZ Top members. Like, and I was only like, young. I was like 18. He was such a dick. Wow. And even his manager said, hey, there's this girl, why don't you just say hi? Like, that's how much of a dick he is. Like, the fact that his manager was like, you're being an asshole, because I was like, all I said was like, hi, it's nice, it's so great to meet you or whatever. I had front row seats to WWE, and he had the seats right next to me. Okay, that's what it was. I was sitting front row.
Gets better and better.
Yeah, then I got splashed with like Triple H. He, when he used to do the
yeah.
So Chris Jericho was like right in front of me, and then he moves. I know they planned it. I know they planned to do it to me because it's just odd that it happened right there. And then Chris Jericho moves, and then
he gets
Triple H spewed on me, and I was like, great.
Yeah, but they've never been in a movie called Silent Rage.
That is true.
These are
Yep,
magic. Boy,
that is
it's
true.
so disappointing to hear that because the ZZ Top guys always seem so cool in their videos. Like they give you a magic key and then you get a car and a date.
Mhm.
And, girls would like you. Well, never meet your heroes.
They were really old though. I mean, I don't even know which one it was. Okay,
No, to be such a douche when you're a member of ZZ Top. It's like you're the guy with the beard, right? I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't know their names if I had it under my head.
Yeah.
The guy with the beard.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. So just I don't know why, since we're so far off track, I'm going to bring this up.
Except talk about the movie.
Well, I thought about this when Crystal brought up the what was it, the cut of your jib?
Yeah.
A friend of mine shared a Twitter post with me. That someone just emailed me a professional email that ended in, quote, "We could have snipped it in the butt earlier."
Snipped it in the butt.
Yeah. Snipped it in the butt.
Ouch.
And he goes,
Yeah.
this guy says,
Wow.
nipped it in the butt, incorrect. Snipped it in the butt, incorrector. And then somebody responds and says, the linguistic problem is only going to continue getting worse unless we F it in the A now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
wow.
Well, okay. Well, there you
I
go.
thought,
That
boy,
escalated.
you got some interesting friends.
That is a lot going on right there.
All
Okay.
right.
It's a
Yeah,
little
that
bit
is.
much to process. I'm like,
That's
Look
gonna be
how
my
happy-
thing.
Dave, you know.
We
Look how
gotta
happy
snip it in
Chad
the
is.
butt.
He's thinking that we forgot. We've gotten so off track. We're going to forget to make him do the taglines.
And
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's time for Taglines with
Good
Chad,
God.
as played by Chad his own self.
Taglines for this hot garbage are as follows: the king of martial arts versus a bionic killing machine.
He's not
Fairly
all
true.
bionic.
I mean,
Total horse
He's
crap.
not bionic.
He's
though.
not bionic.
Oh, he's not
No.
bionic. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, unless they were injecting him with nanobots.
Oh, sure.
They didn't even know what nanobots were back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
He's an indestructible man, fused with powers beyond comprehension. An unstoppable terror who in one final showdown will push Chuck Norris to his limits and beyond. And also
Okay.
the audience patience.
They don't know what a tagline is. They're done. They're dead to me.
Yeah.
Yep. That's crazy.
Martial arts master versus superhuman killing machine.
How can we say,
Okay.
what's a different way of saying king of martial arts and bionic killing machine?
Hmm.
Martial arts master and superhuman killing machine. That would be
Yeah, somebody probably came along and go, he's not bionic.
Yeah.
Let's change it to superhuman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Science created him. Now Chuck Norris must destroy him.
okay. Well, that's fair.
They don't
That's
even
not the
have
worst
the
one.
decency to put his character's name in that tagline instead of Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised
Though-
they didn't call the character Chuck Norris.
Yeah, Chuck
Yeah.
Norris does play the same character in every movie he's in.
So
Mhm.
Okay, and the last one is this must be why Jeff said, why? It's payback time.
It's,
Because I have no
Payback time.
idea what that means or why it's there.
wow.
That's a slogan for somebody, but is it Chuck Norris's? That's not like
well,
his-
the thing says it's clobbering time, but
Yeah. All right.
well,
and that's been Tagline.
Da, da, da.
Yeah.
Dad's our
I know.
hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
you have a lovely voice.
Yay. Thank you, Phil. That's nice. I appreciate
She
it. You know,
did.
it's
She
only
did.
like 90 something days till Dragon Con, right?
I know.
You know,
I know.
when I've had a bad day and I watch too much news, I just put that on the loop and I just get a smile
Yep.
on my face.
It's true.
He's so full of shit.
I love it. I accept that. I accept
Okay,
that. That's so
All right,
funny.
we've got some posters. We are so off the rails today.
Ugh,
Yeah, there we
God.
go. Well, otherwise we got to
Yeah.
talk about the movie.
Yeah.
What is supposed to be behind that signal?
That's the
the guy.
heartbeat that they keep looking at.
That
That
is,
is
but who's
not a
the-
heartbeat.
But there's something behind it with like eyes. It doesn't.
Oh,
look-
it's
That's
it's,
him.
it's
Those
He's
are
him
got
with
the,
like
the- he's got the
electrodes.
electrodes. Yeah.
Oh, now I see it. Now I see it. Yep. I thought
They
the
look like two
electrodes
big
were
eyes.
eyes.
Well, that would be
Yeah.
creepy.
It does look weird though.
Oh, he's got the googly eyes. So that's the regular one, and he's even kicking the title.
He's
That's tiny
kicking his
Chuck Norris.
fonts. Yeah, it's
Tiny Chuck Norris.
tiny, but very focused. He broke the rage in half.
Mhm.
Wow.
He's kicking it. All right, here's a lobby card landscape, whatever they call these.
Better use of shadows and everything to kind of, he doesn't look quite so blank there.
Yeah, and tiny Chuck Norris is
Yeah.
a little bit bigger, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And there it's got like a novel telling you the whole.
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah, I thought sure there'd be a tagline in there we didn't use, but I think they're all there.
Yeah.
And now
And beyond.
there's this one.
Look at that pose he's got. And
Hell,
that doesn't look like he's delivering a roundhouse kick. It looks like he slipped on a banana
Rockette.
peel or something. Whoa.
I bent my $6 million man figure into that kind of pose, and it smashed into a million pieces.
You know, it's really kind of odd because we got the silhouette of the killer, but his face is not where it should be. It's like Chuck Norris has kicked his face off of his
Oh,
silhouette.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that what
That's
it's supposed to
interesting.
be? That's something.
And that looks like
the Joker.
Gwynplaine from The Man Who Laughs.
Yeah.
I just can't tell what I'm looking at. The black part is supposed to be.
That's Stephen First in the background.
I don't think so.
After he got with the hooker in the bar.
Yeah.
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 Well,
hair
Yeah,
is
she
sticking out.
really liked him. I mean, she seemed to really be interested.
He's
in
wearing the
him.
wig from Babylon 5. And then this, what the? Thibes?
What?
Tahibis?
Tahibis. That's what we used to call it when you got a giggling fit. He's got the Tahibis.
Tahibis.
And that hall, is that the
oh, this
hospital?
is terrible.
Hmm?
We got to figure this out.
What?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what language that is.
I have no idea.
Is that Czech or something? That Musica with a Z and a K.
Or
I'm going to try.
T-high
Czech.
Bess or something, maybe. T-high and then Bess. It could be. There is a space between the I and the B.
Seems to be.
So, according to this, if you translate it from Czech, it means shut up.
I mean, it could be that. That's probably what it is then. Silent rage. Like, shut up. Yep. I bet that's what it is.
It probably does mean something like, I don't know. This is just bizarre.
The S is
This is going to bother me the whole rest of the show.
well,
It wants to translate from Latin, and that just means you are.
Oh,
which
wow.
I'm
So-
not sure I buy.
this was released in ancient Rome.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't. Well, I know what I know how to figure it out. I know you guys don't really care, but I have to know.
Tonight on OCD Theater.
I'm going to type in Musica. That's Lithuanian. Okay,
Oh, my
now
God.
let's try the title.
This movie was huge in Lithuania.
Silent.
Ah,
All of that. Now, why couldn't it figure that out before?
so it was kind of like Shut Up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in Lithuanian, it's shut up too if you make it into 2 words.
I would have a tiny bit more respect if they named this movie Shut Up.
Me too. Me too.
Well,
Actually, it's kind of
didn't.
awesome.
He didn't
Yeah.
talk. Well, okay, let's look at the director. We've got a couple of weird connections here.
Yeah. Some callbacks.
The director is Michael Miller, who directed the first crash scene in
Butcher Baker.
Butcher
Nightmare.
Baker, Nightmare Maker, and then
And he
got
got
fired
canned.
because he was trying to be good or too good.
And he said, "Dang it, I'll go make a Chuck Norris movie."
Yes,
Mhm.
and
I'll teach him.
this has some good. I like the. I'm not trying to distract from her picture here, but I like the fall out of the building and the crash. The car crash was I
Mhm.
thought those 2 were decently done. They didn't look like standard
Yeah.
Hollywood. Like there was actually a reason for there being sort of a ramp and spinning the car a little bit instead of just having it drive down the city street and all of a sudden fall into the air. Anyway,
is that Ronnie Cox in that bottom picture? No, that's not him. Hey, what's wrong with you?
no, Michael Myers.
That toilet is disgusting.
Street Girls and Jackson County Jail, and then after this, he pretty much did a long string of TV movies.
Yeah.
I am so disinterested in this episode.
Yeah, that's why we've been talking about everything else. Unfortunately, we've been like,
Well, now this will really get you wound up.
Uh-oh.
oh no.
Bill put this in Chuck Norris meme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I really think that's why of all the action stars,
He looks way better though in that bottom
Yeah.
picture because he's like hairy and his hair is. He just looks like tougher there than normal.
well, if you ever see the fight with him
he
and
seems
Bruce
like
Lee,
a little bitch.
there's a
like,
scene where Bruce Lee grabs him by the chest hair and pulls it off and then
Yeah.
blows it away.
That's
It's a
funny.
great fight. I really think though this is the reason why Chuck Norris, I think he's in his late 70s, early 80s now. He's still part of the national conversation. He just was the one that they picked to do internet memes. It was going to be someone, and it turned out to be Chuck Norris, and it's just one of those jokes that everyone's like, keeps it going forever. So
I think Steven Seagal had too much of a personality. It's better if you
Disorder.
don't talk a lot.
I'll
Think about,
say this.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris was a legitimate martial arts
Yeah.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Seagal is not.
Right.
Steven Seagal is not.
Yeah,
a
Chuck
master.
Norris won tons of titles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Steven Seagal is one of those guys who has a bunch of students who will pretend to fall if he just hits the air in front of them, and then my chi, and they go bouncing off and everything. And every now and then one of these people begins to believe that they actually have those powers, and they challenge an actual MMA guy. And
get
it's the
creamed.
greatest thing ever. It's the
Mhm.
greatest thing ever because they're waving their hands in the air. He just comes up and punches them in the face. It's, oh man.
So
There's nothing better on earth.
just looking quick at the writers, the guy that was uncredited, Edward D. Lorenzo, he has 11 credits, one episode of Miami Vice, 3 episodes of Space 1999, Lady Frankenstein,
Oh,
Hmm,
okay.
that's fun.
and an episode of Wild Wild West. Otherwise, not much there. The other guy who was actually given the writing credit, Joseph Fraley, he only had one other credit, and that is Good Guys Wear Black.
Another Chuck Norris movie.
So, which was 4 years earlier. Anyway, I just thought Chad might get worked up about
Yeah, wow.
the Hulk meme, Hulk turning into Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
So here's some shots from the film, and it's weird. Okay, somebody tell me. This is one of those movies. It's like the zombie movie where they never figure out they got to shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
It's like this guy resurrects every time. Doesn't matter how many times you shoot him. Within about 30 seconds, he gets back up. So they just keep shooting him and then turning around and walking.
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Cut his head off.
And not once do they shoot him in the head, which
No.
maybe that would work. I don't know.
It's-
But one time there's a machete in close proximity. I'm going, chop his head off. No. She
Mhm.
runs out the building.
But what if the body grew another head and the head grew another body, and now you got two you got to fight?
Well, that could be.
I think
That'd
about
be-
these things.
yeah.
Put your leg up on that.
That sounds like
You-
something. That sounds like a combination of and this.
Yeah. So Crystal, you're right. He does seem kind of short in that bottom shot, or the other
He is
guy
short.
seems
Oh,
really
he's a
tall.
short. He's a
Movie.
short
It says
dude.
he's 5'10" on IMDb, but I don't believe.
Lies.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
So how short is the little biker guy he's fighting there? Is that Felix Sela? I mean, what's going on here?
He's
He's
standing on
towering
an
over
apple
him.
crate.
Yeah, could be.
Stephen First is listed at 5'9".
Mhm.
And we'll just put this up again.
I
Mm.
said 5'8", and look, he's shorter than him. Even if he
Yeah.
stood up, he would be
Mhm.
shorter than him. And I bet you he's wearing cowboy boots, and I bet you Steven is not.
Yeah.
See, that's why he's doing that pose, because he had plausible deniability. Oh, I would have been taller if I was standing straight, but no, I'm like bent over.
I was on an incline.
Yeah,
Liar.
that's a ticket.
All right.
Stinking liar.
Yeah, who was that? The biker leader. I'll bet we don't get a height on him. He was only in.
He's 4'2".
That's all he's in. He's in. Gee, many Christmas. He's got 7 credits. He's in The Octagon, Silent Rage, Forced Vengeance, Lone Wolf McQuade, Unlawful Entry.
Well, he's been in all the Chuck Norris movies.
Let me tell you something. Google Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee images. Bruce Lee is 5'8".
Okay.
Then you can see.
Oh well, I
even
think
looks
we
like
actually.
I think we
Chuck
do have
Norris
a shot.
He is kind of leaning down there.
Yeah,
but
he's
I do
kinda
believe
squatting.
I do believe he is even shorter than Bruce. And Bruce did not lie about his height. He was 5'8".
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Norris
He's
seemed
not-
bigger
He
in
didn't
that
have an
scene, but-
ego.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that Chuck Norris actually put 5'10" in his IMDb thing either.
Oh, I think he probably did.
Oh,
I'm
did-
sure he did.
Oh, he might have.
I'm sure.
Or
He's got a little short man kind of thing going on. Like,
Mm.
and it's like there's nothing wrong with being short. Women really
Thank
don't.
you.
I mean,
Yes,
that's
they
the
do.
truth.
That's a
No,
lie.
I mean, maybe if I was like
Just
if I was
5'10"
like
and
5'9", if I was like
geez.
5'9", maybe, because then it would be weird for me. But like,
I don't know if women like necessarily super tall men, but they do like men who are taller than them.
that's fair. That's fair. But generally, men are taller.
Yeah, it worked
Even
out
if
well.
they're 5'8", even
That's
if they're
why-
only 5'8", they're still
That's why
taller
the
than
Yeah,
species
most women.
continues.
Everything's
So-
got it.
You know.
That top picture is from Invasion USA, by the way.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can't see me in it, but you do see me and my buddy Joel's feet trampling beachgoers underneath
really?
our feet. Yeah,
Oh,
me and a few other guys.
You
That's
see your
awesome.
feet?
You can see our feet trampling.
not in that picture, but
Yeah.
just off camera, they're both giving him the finger.
He wasn't even there that day. He was probably watching whatever.
Well, we can't tell what
movie
they're
he had.
wearing, but the pictures I see show Bruce Lee being shorter than Chuck Norris.
But yeah, if you get a
Really?
chance, Return of the Dragon is a great Bruce Lee movie. I mean, none of his movies are great movies, but
Way of the
he's
Dragon
great
or
in them.
Return of the Dragon?
I think it's got a few different names, and it's weird too because
Way of the Dragon is the one with Bruce Lee. So
yeah, well, see, Enter the Dragon was, I believe, the last movie he made, but it wasn't necessarily the last one released.
See,
It was all very odd.
They're okay. So these two.
Yeah.
He might be ever slightly.
Maybe an inch or so.
But
Sure.
I don't think that he is, because
Yeah,
if you look
yeah.
at the top of their heads, his hair makes it look like
Yeah. Oh,
Nah.
hair.
I'm telling you, I was just looking at that same picture.
Yeah, and he's got about a 6-inch coif going in that top picture.
Yeah.
Oh, his shoulders
Yep.
are shorter, and he's probably wearing cowboy boots too.
he did all the time. Yeah, because that gives you
God,
him
we're
like an
nasty.
inch and a half bump. It,
All
like
right.
that really does make
He's
a
got-
difference.
I can't wait to hear the feedback on this episode.
Mm.
He's
Well,
got
there's
wooden
always-
blocks
out there.
duct taped to his cowboy
He takes out that entire bar of bikers who
Yeah.
fight in the traditional
One at a time.
the kung fu method of one at a time. Yeah.
Yep, that's how you do it.
Oh, the riff track version was hilarious. He's after he kicks one, he goes, "There, thanks for waiting. On to the next one."
All right. Anything else about Chuck? I mean, I'm okay with you picking this, Bill. I hadn't ever seen a Chuck
I'm glad I
Norris
watched
movie.
it. Yeah, me too.
Now you
I-
can
I like-
check that off your bucket list.
Like
Mhm.
Stephen First. I'm okay with the fight scenes. They were fine. Got a little nudity thrown in there for
Mhm.
I was shocked about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
quite a bit. Mm-hmm.
so Tony Callum.
Oh,
who
yeah.
I just realized I didn't know it was her. I had to Google it and look it up a bunch of times. She was in The Sopranos. She was Big Pussy's wife.
Yep. Crystal's expression is the best.
I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
I liked her in this thing. I liked her.
Yeah, she was fine.
I did too.
Look at how far Ron Silver has sank.
Yeah.
Hang there. Now open your mouth. Let it hang open.
Well, that one and then the one with when William Finley is dead, both of them, their eyes were moving.
Well,
they're going in for the close-up on the dead eyes wide open thing, and their eyes are they're trying not to move, but
it's hard to pull that off.
Yeah, I had no doubt. I swear when doesn't she open that door or something and his eyes kind of follow her? I don't know. It was weird.
No, I thought she slammed him into the wall when she went back through it.
Now Ron Silverhead, I thought he had a great scene with the woman that played his wife, which I have to look up, Stephanie Dunham. They seemed really natural together. Yeah, it seemed like normal.
Well, he's a great actor.
Married.
I like Ron Silver a lot. The first movie I think I ever saw him in was The Entity.
And
oh wow, yeah,
yeah.
And but sadly, he plays this same kind of dude in a lot of movies that he's in. So I don't know. He was good. I like him though. I like
Me too.
Yeah, I was glad they put another factor into his personality or dimension.
Did I not?
It started out with him just being the angry doctor that yells, at the other doctor. But what were you say, Bill?
Did I not make a picture of Ron Silver?
Yes, you did. I'm just.
Oh, there we go.
And he happens to be Tony Callum's character's brother.
Mm-hmm. And they look like actually they could be related, so that worked out.
I saw one movie. I can't remember what it was with Ron Silver, sans mustache and beard. And boy, does he need that beard.
Okay.
Because they've shaped it into a perfect chin shape.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He can look a little. So yeah, he's in a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Time Cop. Oh well.
Entity.
Time Cop.
87 credits. All right. Oh, he was in Wise Guy. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis. Good movie.
Silkwood.
Yeah, Silkwood.
Now, what was the one about Klaus von Bülow? I keep forgetting the name. Reversal of Fortune.
Reversal of Fortune. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he plays Dershowitz. Okay, yeah. And that movie won an Oscar.
It's a great movie.
Jeremy Irons for Best Actor, and nominated for Best Director and Best Writing. All righty.
Now, somebody that doesn't need a mustache is the other doctor.
Yeah, he has quite a chin.
So you didn't see this, but let's see. Stephen Keats. We did The Last Dinosaur on 70s, Crystal. And it's only 5 years before this, but he kind of plays this young guy. The character was a lot different. He was sort of younger. And
don't get excited by that poster. The dinosaur looks nothing like it.
No.
Yeah, Keats didn't have a big role in this, but he was fine.
Yeah, it got so as Rod Silver disappears and Keats gets a little more time as they have to go through the place and kill everybody. So we should probably talk about
William Finley.
Here's William Finley.
God, this guy shows up in so many movies and he's so good. And why did he never make it bigger? I guess he's just got an interesting face.
Well,
character face.
Jeff Goldblum came along and he sort of took over
where
William Finley left off.
I guess so. But boy, I love Phantom of the Paradise. That's his one great starring role. He's terrific in it.
Yeah.
He was so creepy in Sisters. He's just, Just
Could you
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
making a remake of Phantom of the Paradise with Jeff Goldblum back in his heyday?
He was did multiple movies for De Palma and Toby Hooper.
He was always good.
The Black Dahlia, Night Terrors, not a very good movie, but
No. Well, that's the thing. He was in a lot of not very good movies.
The
but
Fun
he was always
House,
good.
Eaten Alive, but he was in Dress to Kill, The Fury,
Mhm.
Phantom of the Paradise and Sisters you mentioned. So
Well, just like that top picture there where he's leaning over the monster. That's just like a classic mad Dr. Frankenstein kind of look and everything. There's an intensity there. He's just got an interesting face and knows how to use that gangly body and all. I just wish there had been more opportunities to take advantage of him. Oh, they should have put him in a movie with Susan Terrell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he knows where to order needles and that don't melt when they meet sulfuric acid. You know,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
whatever. I'm bored already.
Ah,
all right, moving on to
Mhm.
a killer.
The Killer, played by Brian Libby.
Toothy McGee is said in the credits.
Toothy McGee.
He had some.
He's got a smile. He's got
So he actually was in every movie up until he died. I think that Frank Darabont made.
Oh,
The
wow.
Mist,
Cool.
The Mist, The Green Mile, and Shawshank Redemption. He was also in Dreamscape.
He was
I
in
was-
The Mist.
Yeah, but you could see if you look at the picture of him in The Green Mile, you could see as he ages, he turns into that sort of, he could easily play a prison guard, or a tough guy prisoner.
Mhm.
Either way, as he had his hair.
Oh, wasn't he a cop in it? One of the cops from another prison? Was that him?
In Green Mile?
When they were transferring the prisoner to where the Green Mile was? Wasn't he one of the correctional officers?
He was a prisoner in Shawshank Redemption, and in I'm looking at the Green Mile. He was Sheriff McGee.
See, Toothy McGee. Told you.
Yep.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
He got a lot less creepy looking as he got older.
He did.
Yeah.
He
All
was
right.
the motorcyclist in The Mist.
Hmm.
Probably died horribly.
Oh, in The Mist. Okay.
That was a good shot, that top one. The makeup was already done and everything. He
Yeah.
has his back to the camera and he just whacks him. And the guy turns around and goes,
Yeah.
"Where's my eye?" But one thing I hated about this character is he had some weird body movements when he would like stalk his victim, where he would squat down and do all this weird stuff. I don't know if those were just choices he made as an actor to make it seem more creepy or whatever, but it's just, you didn't really know anything about him.
Yeah.
Right.
You
You don't know anything about him other than
you don't know anything. And
that screeching woman in the opening scene was driving him nuts, and the
Mhm.
kids yelling.
Yeah.
I would have much rather him seen him kill the kids.
That's what I was looking for.
Wow.
I thought at 82, probably not, but I was hoping.
Yeah,
I
what
was
was his
wondering.
motivation? What was
I just
it?
thought
Why?
it was going to be off screen. I mean, they were driving him crazy.
No.
He
I
obviously-
get why he'd kill the kids. I don't know why he's killing all these people. It's like they brought him back.
Because
to life.
I think that the problem is when they brought him back, I think that he was a little messed up.
Well,
I think he's
More
psychotic.
so.
He's
sure.
Mhm.
And the doctor's like, he's supposed to be on some medication to begin with, and he loses it.
Yeah, I think he was already crazy.
Dr.
Yeah.
Ron Silver says, "I would have never let him out if I thought that would happen." Well, duh.
That's what
But
they all say.
he was.
I never would have made him an immortal killing machine if I'd known there would be consequences.
That's what they said about me when they let me out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
boy.
All right,
Oh,
Stephen
yeah.
first.
Yay.
God, I love him.
What a great
literally
love
was
scene! What a great love scene between those two at the bottom picture. There,
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
great.
that was so romantic.
Way ahead of its time.
so he does he's like the comic relief guy. He does the first he starts off he's having a 2 hamburger platters. I thought at first one of them must be for Chuck, but nope. He didn't share them. And then what does he do? Then he tells that dog story.
The heartwarming story of the dog he killed. Yeah.
My God.
You know,
I was like, is this supposed to be funny? I don't get
Yeah.
it. Is this supposed to be funny?
It was kind of funny. I gotta admit,
Yeah, I
like
know it
Chuck
was.
Norris, the way he reacted there was kind of funny because he was kind of laughing about it. It's really fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know if
I
I'm
mean,
cut out for
that-
this job. I put my
that-
dog in the seat for
That
you.
obviously meant that the character was kind of special because I mean, if he's old enough to freaking bathe the dog, he had to know that the freaking freezer was going to kill it. Come
Yeah,
on.
you'd
That's
think.
ridiculous.
I kind of wondered if they didn't just if he just didn't come up with that stuff. You know, he was
It seems almost
Animal House was
improvised.
before this. It seems a little early to let him have his go with it. Then he does that. Chuck says, "Hey, turn around." He does that flying 180 in the middle of the highway.
But the best part was, I think Crystal mentioned it earlier, where he's sent out to go get help because Chuck's got to face 20 bikers. And instead, he just grabs the first person he can, starts talking about this woman's boobs because, you know, priorities.
That's the biggest things I ever saw. I think I'm going to ask her out on a date.
So what do they do? They make him deputy.
Yep.
Should I? And after he beats everybody, he walks in and goes, "Should I read them their rights?"
Should we give him a gun?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Definite Barney Fife kind
Definitely
of
don't give him a dog.
Stephen First had a decent career. I mean, I am a big Babylon 5 fan, so
Yes.
I most recently remember him as Veer, one of the Centaurs.
Oh yeah.
And he was in like 97 episodes of Saint Elsewhere
Yes.
in the 80s as Elliot. I remember as soon as I saw it, I remembered the name. I think he was an intern or
He was a good actor.
yeah.
He's a good actor. And like I said, I met him at a convention. Now, of course, you don't know how people really are, but he just seemed like a real, genuine, down-to-earth guy. Love the fans. Love the fact that he had fans.
Yeah.
And-
Well, he died of complications with diabetes.
Yeah.
And he credited being on that show, Babylon 5, with saving his life because one of the fans of the show heard about him having problems with kidney disease and diabetes, and the fan donated one of his kidneys.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And then one other thing, to me, this is like one of those double, triple horror connections. I did a review for Gruesome when we were doing these little 7-minute audio ones for a movie called Cold Moon, which was based on Michael McDowell's novel Cold Moon Over Babylon. And Michael McDowell is the guy that wrote the script for Beetlejuice. That's where most people know him about, but I was a big fan of his horror fiction before that. Stephen First was a producer of Cold Moon, and the director was his son Griffin.
Oh,
So anyway, it's kind of a decent movie. It's got its flaws. It's a low budget thing, but Candy Clark is in it as
that's nice.
somebody's mother.
I believe Stephen First directed a few episodes of Babylon 5.
He did. Yes, he did. He did do some directing. He also did some producing. So general all around guy. But he plays that type of character really well. He said when he went into audition for the part of Veer, all the other actors had their hair sprayed up straight like the Centaurs for some reason. I don't know if they had let out these concepts or pictures. So he freaked out and went in the bathroom and tried to soap up his hair and make it do something like that. And he said it just turned out to be a big mess. So I end up going back to the room. I'm all sweaty and there's tears on my face and my hair's a fright. and he goes into this big explanation of what he was doing, and they're like going, and they just kind of go, "That's fear. That's fear.
Perfect.
You got the part. You don't even have to read. You know." Anyway, sort of cool.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all the pictures that we have.
Chad's like, thank God we can stop talking about this.
Final comment.
Oh wait,
it's
wait.
okay, you know,
Who's the editor?
Oh, the director. No, who's the editor?
Yeah.
No. But the one I really want to know about is the craft services.
Yeah.
And who got the chicken and who got the steak?
We know who got
the steak. That what? Oh God, that made me so mad. Just let it fall
the
into
whole
the
thing.
dirt.
I mean, I understand
the sand. That's
I
just,
understand the differences, but you know.
Yeah. See, I would have been
lorded over you by.
I would have tossed the whole steak into the crowd of extras and let them fight over it.
Yeah.
Maybe take bets on who's going to win.
That's why we like you, Bill.
I also got blown on my ass when the boat exploded. They said, stand behind this line. So we're standing behind that line. They exploded the boat, and the whole first 10 rows of the people that were standing there got thrown on their ass because from the force, the shockwave. Yeah. Myself included.
That sounds incredibly dangerous. Like, how do they make sure a piece of the boat doesn't hit you at that speed? If the shockwave in the air is enough to knock you down.
Oh, I'm sure it was all scientifically calculated to make sure that no one was going to be hurt.
Oh, this was a Canon movie, right?
Yeah.
No, there was no calibration of any kind.
Yeah, we got thrown on our ass big time.
It was a guesstimate.
Yeah, I mean, it was just off the beach. I mean, it was just feet off the beach, and we were like 30 or 40 feet beyond that, and it was already a junk boat that they had floating in the water, and that they had explosives on, and somebody had it worked out where the safety line was, and someone miscalculated because I've never, I've had some things happen to me before, but I've never been in an explosion where the force literally knocked me down before. And there were pieces flying all over the place. Rusty pieces of metal and wood. It was a grand old time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was never in a situation like that. I was at a Paul McCartney concert where he played Live and Let Die. And we were in like row 10 in a stadium. And
that does sound horrible.
Yeah.
When the flash pots went off for the Live and Let Die, the big boom, you kind of felt yourself. There was a little bit of shockwave. Not anywhere as cool as yours.
Oh, it's not as bad as being like, front row seats when Triple H spits out his power.
That's for sure.
Water.
Spits out his COVID-19 mist.
Yeah.
I
went to a Wiggles concert once and didn't get anything on me.
Wiggles.
I know that they did it on purpose. I know that they
absolutely
planned on doing it to me.
So are you on TV getting hit?
Oh, this one wasn't filmed. It wasn't one that was on television. It's just when they go around. Yeah, like only some of them are actually on television.
Sure. It was just.
So this was a non. This was actually they do these matches, which is basically the same thing that happens. I think it's more like a practice, how they practice in different spots. Yeah. So no. Like,
they were talking about that when they got back behind the curtains. Like, did you see how I hit that redhead?
And I was like, well, I guarantee you they're like, okay, so I guarantee you they look and see who they're going to spray or he's going to spray because they've got this whole thing planned out. And they're like, we're going to get that bitch right there. Yep.
So the biker chick that we talked about flashing him, she got the job because one of the producers was in a bar in Dallas and met her and was talking to her and asked her if she wanted to be in a movie.
Oh.
And he said, but you gotta show your tits. You gotta show your boobs. And she just flashed him and went, okay.
Not a problem.
And that's her only credit. That is her only.
She was actually pretty good, though.
She actually was.
She was fine. Yeah.
Now she tells her grandkids about that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Grandma's boobies.
Let's see. The Clint Eastwood was one of the people they offered the part to.
Clint
And-
Eastwood.
And he didn't do it because he said it was too much like Coogan's Bluff.
Okay.
What's Coogan's Bluff?
It's a thing where he's a detective dressed up in Western, in a modern day, like Chuck Norris was in this only.
Oh, okay.
Some call it the silent rage of its year.
Oh, okay.
Steve McQueen also turned it down because he was taking a career break.
Yeah, right. Career break.
All right. I think that's it, boys and girls.
Woo.
Any other comments? Trivia?
No, hell no.
Okay. Let's keep
No.
going. We only have one feedback here.
Oh,
But you know what? You can all now say you have seen Chuck Norris's only
Right.
science
Yep.
fiction /
well, we saw it, so you don't have to.
Mhm.
Well, I spent the last 30, 40 years not telling people I saw it. So
all right. Critters. I think
That was Crystal's pick, right?
she picked Critters 2.
Oh,
I picked Critters too. Critters 1 was someone else.
wasn't me.
I said, why not keep it? That must
Was
have
it-
been.
Must have been Chad because I wouldn't have picked it.
I didn't pick Critters.
Oh well, who cares? Chad, Crystal, would you read this
Sure.
comment for episode 283, Critters, from James Hudson?
Wait, is that the whole thing? Does it end like, okay.
That's
Loved
it.
this film as a kid, and I still enjoy it now. Would like to hear you review Deadly Eyes, 1982. I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. I mean, I'd be down. And I think that one would be hard to find. And I think that would be hard to find. I think that one, dear God, and I think one that would be hard to find called Murder by Phone. Whew. I did it. Sorry, James. 1981. Rest in peace, Richard Chamberlain. Yeah, that's sad. Who was the star of that film? Yeah, sorry about that. Woof.
And
All right.
Deadly Eyes is about
These are
rats.
both
That's all I remember.
1982s. Deadly Eyes. This is another one of those double ones. Anybody ever read James Herbert novels?
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Deadly Eyes is based on the rats.
Okay,
was-
well, that's what Bill said. Yeah, the
That's
rats.
what
Okay.
James Herbert's first novel was. It's based on that novel. Contaminated grain breeds overgrown killer rats in this golden harvest production. I don't know. And the stars Sam Groon, Sarah Botsford, and Scatman Crothers, among others. And then did you have the other one up? Murder by Phone. Says a disgruntled phone company employee develops a device whereby those answering a phone can be murdered. And it's up to Nat Bridger to stop the
Oh,
killer.
I like that. That sounds
And
neat.
Nat Bridger is Richard Chamberlain.
Whatever that device is, I'll have one.
Yeah. That's
Also
fun.
has
way past disgruntled. Boy,
well,
that's
this is interesting. Also has John Houseman, Barry Morse, and Sarah Botsford again, who is in the other.
John Houseman.
Mm,
I have to check those out.
John Houseman. John Houseman's the kind of guy who would say, "I like the cut of his jib."
Yep.
Yeah, those sound interesting. I'm going to look those up. Thank you.
Yeah, always looking
Sure.
for suggestions.
And hey, guys, we love feedback.
Yeah.
You're falling down a little bit here lately. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what
not
the
giving you a
heck?
hard time. Maybe we're picking the wrong films. I have
Where's
a feeling
Jerry?
this will generate some feedback.
Jerry's been super busy.
And I guarantee our next one will generate some feedback. So,
Mikey Z.
yeah, make comments on the Gruesome Magazine
on, y'all.
YouTube channel, or you can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. Check us out.
I'd rather not hear anything else about this movie ever.
Well,
I-
that sounds like
yeah.
a
Oh, I have a
challenge.
feeling this will. There's got to be some Chuck Norris fans out there.
Yeah.
I don't. Lots of people.
I mean, the guy,
love him.
there has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I mean,
how could they
someone
keep?
has to.
I mean, Walker Texas
Texas
Ranger
Ranger.
was on for like 13 or 14 years or something ridiculous.
But maybe that's because they had nothing else to watch. It was a time.
It was the Matlock of its stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
okay.
like for a while there, like isn't that the time where you
didn't
had to
want-
watch television like as it was on television.
Yeah.
right?
Well,
Right.
this was 90s. There was cable then, but yeah, you couldn't.
But you
didn't
still
normally
had to
read.
watch television
Right,
as it
right.
came
Right.
on. So that's
You
like
didn't have TiVo and stuff.
Well, you
like
know,
kind of
that's
cooked then.
that's
you
actually
know?
part of it. I mean, that
Mhm.
raises a really interesting thing. Back then, there were only so many channels, and for
Yep.
an hour a week, one of them was Walker, Texas Ranger, and a fairly good chunk of the TV viewing population was watching it. So that was the time when we still had this kind of cultural event where
Mm-hmm.
if something was popular, half the people would watch it, or a third. I mean, so you could talk over the water cooler about, hey, did you see what happened on what blah 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 last night? That just doesn't happen anymore.
I
Even
think my
something that-
dad used to watch him. It's a long.
I mean,
after
more
was-
people didn't watch Game of Thrones than did, but it was, that's like the closest
Yeah,
thing to a cultural event that we had of recent time.
Okay,
So maybe
well,
that's
because
why
there's
we're
so
still
many
talking
options.
about it. Yeah.
give us make some comments, send us some
Yeah.
feedback. That's it for this episode, but every 2 weeks we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and
Ooh.
1989. Next up,
Oh
is one
boy.
chosen by Crystal.
Oh boy.
What are we doing, Crystal?
Necromantic.
I can feel the discomfort already.
I can't wait.
I
This
can
should be
taste
fun.
it.
Ooh,
I hate to admit this. I just watched this like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm going to
What?
watch it again.
What?
is it because I mentioned it? Because I did mention it.
Maybe.
I mentioned
Maybe.
it
Or
2 weeks
I've
ago.
been thinking about
Mhm.
watching it for a long time. It's listed as body horror, dark comedy, splatter horror, and just plain horror.
Hashtag
Yeah.
those Germans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed the hashtag for necrophilia wasn't in there either.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
The love that cannot speak its name.
Mm.
Yeah.
That may or may not be a subgenre of body
Ooh.
horror. I don't
I've
know.
been avoiding this movie for 40 years.
So have I, Bill. So
Well-
have I.
Well, thanks to Crystal, we are about to
Bill, I wouldn't watch this one with your wife.
neither would I.
Mm-mm.
She'd probably
Don't do
enjoy it
that
more
to her.
watching
She's
it
so
with you.
sweet.
She is, and no. And then she'll say, "Who picked this?" And
I
I'll be
know,
like,
and then you can't tell her. She'll
Oh, I
not
would.
like me
I'd say-
anymore.
I'd just say Chad.
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah, that Chad.
I
did
dare
it.
you. I dare you. I double dare you to tell her it was me.
Chad won't know any better.
Next time I wish her a happy birthday or something on Facebook, she'll be like, "Yeah, you just go to hell,
Yeah,
buddy." Yeah, you're the one that picked that movie.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, this is, well, Renee would say something too. She usually would make some comment about Bill's picks when he picked.
Oh,
Chandler.
Sean usually, like when we're watching one and it's particularly rapey, and I was like, "Oh, this one's particularly rapey." He's like, "Oh, Bill's pick."
Whoa! No, how is that?
That's a joke because humanoids from the deep.
Well, fair enough.
I think that was
No,
actually my pick.
no.
I think.
I'm
No,
pretty sure it
actually-
was. I think I get a
No.
lot of residual flack. Yeah.
It's,
Now,
it's
like as a joke, it's because it's funny.
Mandela effect.
Bill,
Yeah.
Bill's so
Yeah.
sweet.
All
Like
right.
it's
But he's got
funny
that dark
when,
side in the movies he
yeah.
picks. You know,
I
we should
really,
do
I,
a-
re-
we
I
should-
really
we
didn't
should
think they
put
were
a-
getting it done early.
I know. We should do a list of all the films that we picked and just compare and see if there's anything that you could discern about our personalities or whatever, judging from the movies we
Yeah.
picked.
Would be easy to do.
Other than, boy, Bill really likes dinosaurs, which, sure.
That would make a good Patreon thing
Hmm.
to do.
Yeah, for real, for truth.
All righty. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks to Grue Believers if you stuck through this whole
Oh, yeah.
long, wandering narrative.
Some sort of tirade in a
whatever
way.
it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
Chuck-
few
Chuck.
of those in there.
Mm-hmm,
We should quit before we snip it in the butt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm bringing it back. That's funny.
Thanks, Chad, Crystal, and Bill. So
Yeah,
much.
whatever.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night.
everybody.
It's time to pay it back.
Yep.
Gruesome Magazine.